is HLC News at 1 on this Tuesday, the 5th of December 2023. Good afternoon and welcome to the broadcast. My name is Joan Kosgei and our sign language interpreter is Martha Nasimio. And doctors in Kakamega County have called off their planned strike after reaching a detailed agreement with the county government. The decision followed a series of discussions between the union of the Doctors Union KMPDU and the Kakamega County Government's Board. The tension erupted when KMPDU issued a 21-day strike notice starting August 14th this year, citing several issues including staff shortages. Kakamega Governor Fernandez Barasa has assured residents that medical services will not stall.
Today, we have just come to announce officially that the union officials have called off the strike that was supposed to begin on the 10th of December. We don't want services to be interrupted with. And as a way forward, we have also opened our channels of communication. If there are any issues, my office is open for any discussion so that the welfare of our doctors, we give it priority. I thought it's important that we talk to the media and also to assure the public that our medical services will not be interrupted with as we progress through this December festive season.
My name is Dr. Joseph Makomere. I'm the chairperson of the Doctors Union Western Branch, covering Vihiga, Kakamega, Bungoma and Busia counties. I would like to really thank His Excellency the Governor of Kakamega County and his executive team because we raised matters that we considered urgent and critical to be solved. And I would like to thank the Governor and his executive team because they preach what they drink. They say what they mean. So we did a strike notice, and when we resort to doing a strike notice, it's not because we like going on strike. It is because we usually have seen matters that have to be solved with urgency. And therefore, we sometimes resort to that one as a bargaining tool. So when we did that, we've had several meetings with the executive team of the Governor of Kakamega County, which even today, we've had a meeting since morning. And we have agreed on issues that we were raising. We've agreed on the comprehensive medical cover for our members, and the NHIF cover for Kakamega County staff has been paid. That is very critical because for doctors, we as the first soldiers, as people who take care of your patients, you cannot work without a medical cover. We have also agreed on a roadmap that is going to see our medical specialists getting promoted, and we've agreed on a timeline. We also agreed that the common cadre promotions are going to be done, and that one was done. And our members who are there, who are due for that common cadre promotion, have received their promotions. So we are grateful, Your Excellency, and we are grateful that you have a good team. And we're encouraging all employers, actually, to emulate His Excellency, the Governor of Kakamega County, because he is a leader and he is our leader, all of us. So unions represent workers, and when His Excellency gives a chance for dialogue the way he has done here today, then you will not see strikes happening.
Kwanza ningelipenda kushukuru Bwana Gavana na kaunti yote ya Kakamega kwa kuja katika meza ya majadiliano kwa uwazi wa hali ya juu na kwa moyo wa kutaka kuyasuluhisha yale matakwa ambayo yalikuwa yameiathiri sekta hii ya afya na hususan wafanyikazi wa sekta hii. na kutokana na majadiliano yetu ya hii leo karibu siku nzima, na pia tumekuwa na majadiliano na idara hii ya afya ya Kakamega kwa muda mrefu, na ningalisema kwamba kwao wanachukulia masuala ambayo yanaathiri wafanyikazi na masuala ambayo yanaathiri idara hii ya afya kwa umakini wa hali ya juu. Na leo hii majadiliano yetu ambayo yameongozwa na Mheshimiwa Bwana Gavana yameweza kuzaa matunda, na katika vipengele vyote ambavyo tulikuwa navyo tumeweza kuona ya kwamba vimeweza kutekelezwa, na kipengele kimoja ambacho kimesalia tumeweza kuwa na mkataba ambao tutafatilizia kuhakikisha kwamba swala hili litatekelezwa. Ni kwamba pia ningalisema kupitia fursa hii hata kwa magavana wengine na kwa wafanyikazi wengine wa kaunti zingine, ni kwamba panapokuwa na majadiliano kwa roho safi na kwa mikono wazi, basi hujuma kwa wananchi ambao wanatafuta huduma katika hospitali zetu haitafanyika.
The High Court has slammed brakes on the government's plans to privatize 11 state corporations alleged to be making losses until a petition filed by ODM party head and determined. The court, through Justice Chacha Mwita, agreed that ODM party petition raises fundamental issues, including giving the executive powers to dispose of the country's prized assets, while laying blame on the parliament for failing to protect the sovereignty of the country's heritage. While Azimio is pointing fingers at the IMF and World Bank for piling pressure on Kenya Kwanza government to sell off state farms to offset foreign loans, the party warned a referendum should the country get to that point.
And friends and relatives, how do you expect them to turn a profit? It's going to be fought every inch of the way, and he will be lucky to succeed. Because we are not ready to see this country being thrown down the abyss. President Ruto and his friends want to capture this country. And we are not going to have them to have their picnic.
No way one generation of greedy leaders can decide to sell national assets without reference to the people. Kama mnataka kuuza hii vitu, muulize hao wananchi.
Tunasikia ati serikali wanaenda kuuza KCC, na hatutakubali mpaka watulipe pesa yetu, kwa maana wenzetu wenye walikuwa pamoja nao wengi walikufa, hatukusomesha watoto wetu, tumekuwa wazee, hatuna kila kitu, tulienda bila kupata pesa yoyote.
Kwa saa hii sasa pesa yetu, wakati tulikuwa Court of Appeal ilipendekeza Attorney General advise serikali ilipe sisi pesa
juu zaidi, lakini in 2025 waanze kusema uchumi umepona, waanze kusema mambo ni afadhali, hewa ambao tumeuza, hata ICC tumeuza, pesa pengine tumewapatia bila public participation in accordance with the constitution, waanze kuonyesha wananchi kama pengine wamepindua nia.
And the controversial and still data recovery center in Naivasha requires an extra 3.2 billion shillings that to be fully operational, making it one of the most expensive ICT projects in the region. According to the Parliamentary Committee on Finance, funding for the center could raise from the initial 800 million to 13 billion shillings when completed. This came as it emerged that the protracted dispute between the National Treasury and the contractor was costing the exchequer 600 million shillings every year. Our reporter Michael Kongowea with more.
The dream for Kenya to have a data recovery center worth 800 million Kenyan shillings began 10 years ago with a piece of land in Naivasha, Nakuru County being identified for the program. However, the cost will suddenly rise to approximately 1.2 billion Kenyan shillings after benchmarking trip to the United States. In what was shared in secrecy, the project was shifted to Ministry of ICT from the National Treasury, with a different company being awarded the tender.
It was supposed to be a data recovery center for National Treasury, okay? And then in the deliberations, there was convention like, we don't even have a data recovery center for the rest of government. Yeah. So let us expand the scope.
The move caused the initial contractor, Miss South Africa Limited, to move to court to challenge the attempt to be overtaken in delivering the ambitious data center.
Now, during this process of the transfer, that's where now the conflict came. And that's how we are talking about these delays and us getting where we are.
The court would, after several years, award them 5.2 billion Kenyan shillings as court decree and obligated the government to pay 600 million Kenyan shillings annually as interest.
The court award has an interest amount of 12% of outstanding sum. So 12% of the outstanding sum of 5 billion shillings means that every year, without taking any action, we are losing 600 million shillings.
If this court case was handled on time, I'm sure National Treasury government had valid reasons to object and allow even arbitration.
Parliament's Finance Committee, which visited the site in Naivasha to assess the progress of the center, has sounded a warning that should the matter not be settled on time, its repercussions are dire.
Further delay, this project is going to cost us. If we delay for 5 years, how much are we going to spend? It's going to spend, a project we were supposed to take 1.2 billion, we are going to spend around 13 billion. So, I mean, who is losing here?
It's very important that the Ministry of National Treasury and the Ministry of ICT sit together and find a conclusion on this particular project.
To complete the project, the Ministry of ICT now wants 3.2 billion Kenyan shillings at the time when the country is moving its services digitally without withstanding cyber threats. Now a wait-and-see situation whether the stall project, which has already gobbled up 800 million Kenyan shillings, will be completed to bring to light Kenya's ever data recovery center. Reporting for HLC TV, I'm Michael Sifuna, Kongoya.
Moving on, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has criticized governors over the handling of the flood crisis in the country. Gachagua, who spoke in Tana River County during the disbursement of cash transfers to families affected by El Niño rains in Garissa and Tana River counties.
Rais wetu na serikali yetu inamshughulikia. Tumekuja na huyu waziri wa barabara ambaye tumempatia shilingi bilioni 1 ajaribu kurekebisha pahali yote barabara imeharibika ndio chakula iweze kufika, na kati ya zile barabara zitarekebishwa ni zile siko hapa katika Tana River. Tumekuja na chakula iko hapa na malori, ingine imeletwa na serikali kuu, ingine imeletwa na Red Cross. County government governor amekuwa akipeana chakula, na hiyo chakula mtapewa na itapeanwa kila pahali.
Hivi leo umekuja wakati mwafaka, na nataka sisi tukupatie jina ya Abadada kwa sababu ni fulani. Na hii chakula umeleta leo hapa, Your Excellency, bagi 800 hapa, nakwambia 98% ya hii constituency iko chini ya maji. Ungetembea ile shamba rais ameanzisha, hiyo shamba yote utasikitika. Serikali wameinvest, saa hii kambi ya polisi, Tarda kampi yote, ile rais yote shazama, ni kama lake.
Wamesema wanafanya airdrops. Tafadhali katika hiyo airdrops upande wa Bura pia isisahaulike. Ile kitu tunahitaji zaidi saa hii ni dawa na neti ambao ni muhimu sana kwa watoto wetu.
In Garissa, 7,199 beneficiary households in this county will receive 58 million Kenya shillings as regular monthly transfers for October, November and December.
We are facing a situation where every year we have a drought followed by floods, Then we need the plan of putting up dams and ponds for us in this region.
This county tunaomba nyinyi kwa heshima, munaweza simamisha mambo zingine zote, zile pesa ziko muweke kwa mambo ya kusaidia wananchi wakati wa shida. Hii shida ikiisha tutaendelea na mambo yale ambayo tulikuwa tumepanga. Serikali imeweka mipango ya kutosha kuhakikisha ya kwamba barabara zote zimelegezwa na kila Mkenya alio hatarini kwa sababu ya hii maji amepata chakula na madawa ya kutosha.
And despite the fact that Trans Nzoia County has 2 national wildlife parks, still many tourists in the country and even from foreign countries have not discovered those areas. However, efforts are being made by this county of Trans Nzoia to develop the tourism potential in the region.
I am so glad to be in this beautiful place with all of these beautiful people.
This expo is the first of its kind. There's never been a tourism expo in Trans Nzoia, so this is a premiere. And I'm happy to say that we've attracted a lot of attention, and it's going to be our annual event. As you can see, by Monday, we didn't think we'd have this many booths.
Mainly we depend on local tourists. Here we don't have much of the international tourists, and that's why we are now promoting.
I have Dr. King here, and I have Madame from Angola Embassy that are benchmarking what we can do and how in future we can forge relationships of how we can exchange. Similar towns in their places can actually partner with Trans Nzoia. So we can get an influx of business people and an influx of tourists coming to Trans Nzoia.
In terms of the purchasing power, there are people who can afford to purchase a holiday. There are many of them, very many indeed. Like in Africa, we say we have approximately 100 million people who have the disposable income that they can travel to different parts of the world.
And away from Trans Nzoia, Anglican Archbishop Jackson Ole Sapit has expressed the need for more efforts to ensure that every boy child gets education. Speaking in Kajiado County during the opening of a dormitory in Mary Shoy Boys School in Isinya, the Archbishop says the boy child has continually been neglected, which could impact negatively in their education.
And we have seen the girl child at least have claimed their space in society, while we see the boy child, slipping away from the very center of society, which is an imbalance because those girls need men to marry, they need business partners, and the nation need both genders in equal measure. And therefore we need to put equal emphasis, not neglecting the girl child, but now putting a lot of emphasis to redeem the lost glory of the boy child.
Now that the boys seems like they have been neglected for a while, we would want the boys to come into their space because we require both men and women to bring up these worlds. This school being at the center of this county of Kajiado, which is one of the counties in Kenya, where the boy child have a high drop rate in school because of Moranism, and when they reach a certain age and they go through the initiation ceremony and the culture demand that they become tough warriors who must go out and fight with the lions, that normally becomes an entry point for those children to be to run away from school or to drop out of school. We will put more emphasis that we retain the number of our boys as they grow, so that we take them through learning to the very end. Now with technology, people are working at the comfort of their homes, and they are earning money because all what you need is ability to generate using your mind and generate ideas. We now have a lot of earnings through content creating,
And many people are earning a lot just by creating content and selling that content without being anywhere, just in front of your gadget. And therefore, we cannot afford not to occupy that space. And it's only through education that we can be able to be there. We are now no longer in a land-based economy. We are now in an ideas-based economy. And therefore, we cannot have any community left.
The effects of the rains and floods have continued to be witnessed in different parts of the country, with the county of Taita Taveta continuing to witness a major impact. More than 5,000 residents have been left homeless after floods affected parts of Tanzania, Msambweni and Kaloleni. Residents of the area, however, are increasingly complaining about the lack of government support.
Majina yaliandikwa, tukaambiwa leo turudi tena tukae kwa nyumba, tungojee watu wa Red Cross waandike, na tunashindwa. Kwa nini waje tuandikie? Na mimi nyumba imeingia maji, mpaka tuonyeshe kitu kilichoharibika. Huyu bro nyumba yake imebomoka hapa. Nimemstiri hapa. Au sio? Lakini sasa nashindwa mpaka tuambiwe eti mpaka eti mtu fulani wewe nyumba yenu haijabomoka, haijengea maji. Mimi nafikiri wale viongozi tuanze kwanza na mwenye nyumba 10 kwanza. Pole kwa kusema hivyo, kama ataniona atanisikia, mwenye nyumba 10. Hii mambo ya kuwekeana eti fulani kwake kuingia maji sijui nini na nini. Kama ni majina yameandikwa iwe namna hiyo, na kama ni chochote kitatolewa kitolewe, kila mtu apewe chake.
Tangu jana tuko kwa giza. Hatujui ni hatua gani wanachukua, maana tungeibiwa, stima hakuna security. Security zetu za mtaani zilizima ni 3 months now. Hatuna stima kabisa. Tunaomba turegeshie stima zetu ili tuone angalau wagani watakuja. Maana wengine wamebaki walinde usalama wa nyumba zao.
Walikuwa najua kuna mvua inakuja. Kwa hivyo tunaona response yao ni kidogo. Walikuwa wametarajia watu 100 ambao wataathirika. Jana nilikuwa Voi Primary, mahali watu wametengewa mahali ya kuishi. Tuko na watu zaidi ya 600 ambao wanalala pale. Watu wadogo, wengine wagonjwa, na kuna shida. Hatujaona viongozi wakijitolea kusaidia wananchi. Kwa hivyo kuna shida nyingi hapa Taita Taveta. There is no preparedness, na watu hawakuwa tayari kusaidia wananchi. Kwa hivyo mimi naomba kwa serikali kuu, kama tulipoteza maisha ya wananchi zaidi ya watu 4, tunataka kuona hii hali ishughulike.
Moving on, the Abagusi community in Nyamira County has developed alternative ways of dealing with female genital mutilation, a tradition that has been carried on for decades in this community. In collaboration with the various stakeholders, people of this community have been encouraged on how to end this outdated culture.
Using the Kenya Demographic Health Survey of around 2011-2012, the rates for FGM were very high in Kisii and Nyamira counties. I think they were at around 86%, which was quite high in the country. And so that informed us our decision. We also did a baseline surveys, we did gender analysis surveys, and they showed us that the prevalence for FGM was quite high.
Hata mimi pia nilikuwa mmoja wao nilifanyiwa, lakini sasa mimi watoto wangu wanakuwa sasa, hasa kama mtoto wangu ako hapa kuna miaka 13, sitampeleka juu nimeona hatari zenye zinatokea mtu akitailiwa.
Usually we target 100 girls every year, and our mode of the selection is we go to schools. We particularly target the girls from lower classes between 7 and 10 years. We teach them, and then throughout, and then we graduate them.
During the old days, our watoto tunawaleta pamoja, tunawafunza on life skills. Mostly tunawafunza the way they should conduct themselves wakiwa huko kwa community. Hawa watoto wanafaa wajue kama ni asubuhi mahali wanafaa wakue, jioni mahali wanafaa wakue, na pia wajirinde kutoka crimes za community. Hawa watoto pia wakikuja huwa tunawa involve kwa creative arts. Tunawaambia kama dances about FGM on how to protect themselves kutoka FGM. Kwa hizi dances zinakuanga na mafunzo na plays zenye wanafanya kama role plays.
Sisi kama wazazi
tunashukuru sana Mangahati imetuelimisha. Kuna vitu zingine hatukuwa tunajua mambo na FGM. Sasa hii tumeelewa na hatuwezi rudia kitu kama hiyo. Na tunaomba sasa Mangahati iendelee tena kutuelimisha na ilete hizi programs karibu na wazazi wetu, sana sana wazee na kina mama hao wakongwe. At least wakuja kuelewa hii ni tabia mbaya.
Tumekataa ukeketaji na tuna hapa. Angalia watoto wenye tumeleta hapa na kuna wengine tutaleta. Kila mwaka tutakuwa tunaleta wengi. Tumeingia mashinani huko kuhamasisha watu hizi za hatari zote zinaletwa na ukeketaji.
It's against the law of our country and please do not attempt to enter into this kind of practice because it is illegal and criminal and you can be arrested and be prosecuted.
Lazima tukute pamoja kama wasasi, machief, assistant chiefs, villagers, community health promoters na nyumba 10 wote tukute pamoja kwa sauti moja tuseme no female kutailiwa kwa watoto wasichana, hakuna FGM.
Serikali iko macho, nafikiri tumeongea sana. Na mimi nasema tu hatua itachukuliwa. Iwapo utapatikana na hii makosa ya ukeketaji wa watoto wasichana, utachukuliwa hatua kwa sababu tayari tumehamasisha na unajua kwamba kuna consequences.
CEOs and business owners around the country have been encouraged to embrace strategic collaborations to drive business growth ahead of the new year 2024. This comes even as many youths in the country stay unemployed, leading them to seek alternative sources of income.
CEO are always very busy. I don't know where they always go. But today they've been very patient with the dinner. We've stayed for 2-3 hours with the entertainment and it was slow, nice. And I say thank you. It should be something that should be done often, even to hear and understand the things that we go through as CEOs.
This year's edition of the CEOs end year dinner has been phenomenal. It has been very fantastic, but most importantly, a message has been sent that when people come together to have conversations and collaborate, a lot of productive things can happen.
We want to invite you to come with us over the next year, and we want to remind you that CEO, having that position is very important, and you bring a lot to the country, you bring a lot to your family, you bring a lot to your community, and you bring a lot to yourself.
My call to action to business owners and business executives, business leaders, is that going into 2024, let us prioritize collaboration. Let us prioritize partnerships. Because once we exchange business experiences, we're able to learn and pick things that are new to us, and we are able to grow a step further in our business.
I really thank the Black community. You're welcome home. You're welcome to the CEO dinner. And this one, it should not be done once a year. Let's try and do it even if it's a breakfast for the CEO so that we get to interact with the Black American. Then those who are in the American, this is a legit thing. Come back home. We have lands, we have houses, we have things we can be able to invest.
Well, that story brings us to the close of News at 1. Thank you very much for watching, and my appreciation to all those who made this a success. Martha Nasimiyu has been on the sign language interpretation. My name is John Kosgei.